Hello, and welcome to HeartSense's Fireside Chat series. Today, we are going to chat about shared decision-making in cardiovascular care with our co-founder of HeartSense, Brooke Everett, and our special guest, Kristin Pasquarello, Administrative Director of the Heart Valve Center at St. Francis Hospital in Roslyn, New York. Brooke and Kristin, thank you so much for joining me today.
Awesome. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, I'm so excited. I heard you guys are just, top-notch pros, have done a lot of lectures and educating in this topic, shared decision making. So I'm looking forward to our chat.
Me as well. Thank you.
Sure. All right. So we can just get started. All right. First question. So what is shared decision making? And why is this important for a patient to even know what shared decision-making is and how they should be involved? So let's kick it off with Kristin.
Great, thanks. Shared decision-making is actually a big term that kind of just describes the process of patients being educated by their providers. And in the field that we work, there's a lot of providers that kind of have to come together as a team, the heart team, and assess the patient and really give all options that are available. And it's really important for the patient to fully understand, every option that's out there, what might be the best recommendation from the team for them, and what really suits what they are trying to get out of this, their goals. So the term shared decision making, it's really patient focused and patient family focused, right? So they need to be a part of the decision and their treatment plan.
What other terms would you use for shared decision making then with the patient, and what kind of terms do you use for them to understand what you're talking about?
Yeah, so during their consultation with the entire team, patients need to be aware and educated. They need to fully understand in layman's terms, using kind of analogies that they would understand, everyday life type of things, to make sure that they fully understand. I always tell people, the doctor walks in and patients become starstruck, right? Suddenly no one has any questions.
Oh, no.
Everyone's standing there. Brooke knows what I'm talking about. And then we get all the questions after. But I try to prepare them for that moment, right? So before they even ever get to meet the doctor, I speak to them on the phone and kind of prepare for them for their visit, what they're going to expect, tell them, to have whatever questions they have written down. Bring whoever, whatever family member, have them available for the phone when the doctor comes in, or, physically with them. And just to really be prepared, because that's their moment, right? That's their moment with the doctors in the room to kind of ask all their questions about anything that they may have read or looked up on the internet or things like that. So kind of that prep, that pre-education that I do with them helps prepare for that actual day. And really helps aid in that shared decision making, because they already have a background to what to expect when they get here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So before they have their conversation with the doctor, you've already kind of prepped them with more information about their options for their treatment.
And even more than that, they get information in the mail sent home for their review so that they can kind of look through everything, just so they really have a broad, spectrum of what to expect, what may happen.
Wow, that's really great. And so I guess I'm curious about both of you, but I'll start with Brooke. So for shared decision making, how does that tie to you as a nurse and in your line of work of what you do, and also as a co-founder of HeartSense?
So I am a valve program coordinator, and Kristin here is a director of a heart valve program, and we essentially are the center for the patient. We are their everything. They have our direct numbers, they know how to contact us, but the big part of our job is communicating effectively to the patient, in layman's terms, like Kristin said, explain to them that there's a choice to be made, and present the information in a really easy to understand way. But then after you do this, take the time to listen to the patient and their family members, and when they come to a consensus on a decision. You know, and some patients, you have to incorporate their belief system. Example would be Jehovah's Witness. They don't take blood products. So that's a really important thing to consider for open heart surgery versus TAVR. So it's just a really important part to actually understand the patient and their belief system and their preferences, what their home life is like. It's as simple as sitting down and actually getting to know the patient. And I do like Kristin, and I make the phone call with them, and we're basically family before they even come to clinic.
Well, that's good. They feel really comfortable with their heart team.
Yeah.
Especially for, you know, a big surgery or some form of treatment that they need to go through. So,
yeah.
Wow.
I think that a lot of patients too, identifying their knowledge deficit or any misconceptions that they have about the treatment options, and correct them to avoid any confusion, because they may have talked to their primary care provider that, you know, isn't up to date on the new technology or options for treatment. You know, and you can't determine if they don't know that if you don't take the time to talk to the patient. So
yeah, and if I could just add, you mentioned the primary care physician. I think that's actually another big part of shared decision making. And I think us as the coordinator really kind of incorporates the referring physician, whether it's the primary care or referring cardiologist, into this shared decision making. So you might, you know, we're meeting the patient for the first time in the office. This referring physician sees them regularly, right? And knows them a lot better than us. So sometimes when we see them in the office, they almost like fool us, you know, I don't know why I'm here. I'm great. And you're like, well, someone sent you here. Someone said you didn't feel well. And then you speak to the referring and they're like, oh, she does this all the time. She's very nervous, but you know, I've been following her, and she used to be able to walk into my office and not get short of breath. And now she's huffing and puffing when she comes in. And just really making that our job is, we really connect the whole story, right? We connect it between the patient and the patient's family and our physicians and the referring provider. So I always say that if we were all in a circle, the coordinator should be in the middle, right? With their arms and legs everywhere.
With all the different arms. And yes.
It's a time intensive job for sure.
It is, but it's fun. It's like you're a detective.
Wow. Yeah. That's what I was going to think, like a PI, like an investigator.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
And, you know, all with the same goal in mind, right? You just want to do what's best for the patient.